My name is Marlow Wyatt, and I am the playwright of SHE. For more information about this play and about me, listen to this interview. I first fell in love with theater probably when I was a junior in high school. I had a teacher named Mr. Good, who I took acting as an elective, and he basically encouraged me to act, to do it. And so it never occurred to me. I think people thought I was going to be an accountant because I was good with numbers. And I I was in speech and debate. And so I was traveling and doing all of those things. And I really loved that. And I was very good at it, just kind of had a natural knack for it. And so because of Mr. Booth at Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, got to give them a shout out because it was because of my experience there that I decided to go to Howard University and enroll in the College of Fine Arts. And once I did that, it was all over. I love the magic of theater. I love creating the world. I love the craft of it. And I think everybody has that thing that's inside of them. Sometimes you need other people to pull it out, but when you find it, when you find your purpose, and I found it at 17 years old, I guess. And I haven't looked back ever since. There's never been a time where I was like, I think I want to be an accountant, or I think I want to go into medical school. Never. So this is what I was born to do. This is what I was meant to do, whatever capacity that may be. Fell in love. I don't know if I say I fell in love with writing, but I was drawn to write because I wanted to challenge myself to write a play. As an actor, you deconstruct the play. You take the character, you break it down, and you ask all these questions, you figure out the background and things like that. I was able to do that effortlessly because that's how I was trained. But I realized I didn't know how to build a play and what it would take to build a play. And so I dabbled in a little writing, short plays. I think most actors do. And so I wanted to challenge myself to write a full-length play, a full-out play. And I joined the Roby Theater Company Playwrights Lab. And because I was like, I need training. I'm very much an advocate for training when it comes to your craft, especially the arts. I don't think anything that happens in the arts is something that you can just do willy-nilly. I think you need somebody to help you hone your skills. And so I was looking for Playwrights Lab. They came up and I was like, oh, this is perfect for me. And that's where it all began. And I also, one of the things that was happening in theater at the time that I didn't see what was plays that were being produced that were culturally authentic. And me not seeing them, I just thought that they weren't being written, but they were being written. They just weren't being produced. And so that was another goal too. I was like, I don't see a lot of plays that are being produced right now that have female protagonists that look like me, that have young female protagonists, coming of age plays that feature Black and brown children, male, female, whatever it may be, whatever gender. And so I challenged myself to write one, and I did, and she is that. It is important that the voices of everybody in the community need to be heard and need to be represented in the theater, because American theater needs to be just that. It needs to live up to its name. America is comprised of so many different cultures. People leave their countries to come over here, and that makes them an American because they've had an American experience. So to not tell those stories just does a disservice culturally. Whether you're an immigrant, and you have a history of what your story was from back in the day, coming from Ellis Island, or whether you migrated over here from bordering nations, countries, or whether you are a descendant of the enslaved or of the Native Americans, all of those stories are rich and make up this country as it is today. It's all of those stories. And to suppress them or ban them or whatever you may call it just does a disservice to the country at large, um, to the cultural aspect of what we have to offer as Americans. Nobody is a monolith in America. You know, they want to say it's a melting pot, it's this, but I always say it's not a melting pot. It's more like a salad bowl where you just everybody's thrown in and you take that bite and you can taste all the different flavors. It's not melted into anything. You can taste the salsa, you can taste the gumbo, you can taste the lettuce, you can taste the cucumber, whatever it may be. That's what America is to me. And I think American theater, those who are producing American theater, those who have the financial capacity and who are the who manage the puppet strings, I think if you would just open it up to everybody and see all these vast stories and people, I think it would bring people back to the theater, first of all, because theater is the only place now, other than concerts and things, where you can have a live experience, that visceral connection of a human to human every night. There is nothing like it to me. It's different from movies. It's different. It's like I'm seeing this person, I'm breathing the same air, and I'm watching them create a story that I can relate to, and I can see myself and somebody on that stage. This is why people want to come. People don't when they don't see themselves. That's just human nature. We like to see ourselves, and it has nothing to do with skin color. It has things to do with the story. You know, She is a story about dreams. Everybody has a dream, whether you dream to come here to have freedoms here that you don't have in other countries, whether you have a dream of being an entrepreneur or being an actor or being a doctor and you come from certain circumstances. Everybody can relate. There's not one person that I've ever met in my lifetime that didn't have a dream, you know, whether it was suppressed or not, that they wanted to fulfill, that they, you know, a purpose. And that's what She is about. And so I think that is why, out of the countless readings that we've had, people of all ages, all genders, all religions, and different cultures and backgrounds have said to me, oh, that's my story. Oh, that's my story. Oh, that's my story. So it only benefits us to say, oh, American theater, to actually have American theater be American theater by including all Americans. It's very simple. It's not that complicated, but somehow we've made it so. The theater experience is unique because it is a visceral experience, a connection with the actors, a physical connection. Life is energy. And when you're in a space with somebody, when it's live and on purpose, and beautiful thing that I love about theater, you know, just as an audience member, is that go see that play, the same play, see a play. If you can afford to, see it more than once, and you'll see a different play, because different things happen and people connect differently, and actors, something hit them different that on Wednesday night that it didn't hit that Sunday matinee. And they rely, actors, and I know this from experience, we rely on the energy of the audience. Sometimes if you just got people there who are just like, you can feel that, and it changes the performance. Because when people are there and they're rooting for you, the energy in the room, and sometimes it gets to the point where they talk back and, you know, to the character. That's all a part of it. It's something, especially in a world now where everybody is on social media and people are talking about people are more depressed and more lonely. Go to the theater. You know, because in the movie theater, you have your experience and you leave, but you get to talk to the actors afterwards. You get to tell them how you felt or how they made you feel, or if the playwright is there or the director, and you're like, you want to know, how did you do this? How did you make the stage go? You know, there's so many magical things about theater uh, that's live. And we, like I said, we're human beings. We're connected by energy and souls. And if you want the soul to soul connection and the story and magic at the same time, then theater is the place where all of those happen in 2 hours. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's magical. I'm a theater girl, so I'm biased, but it's the truth. The idea for She the Play came about where, first of all, She is not the play that I originally intended to write. Originally, She was supposed to be about a set of twins. One was a girl and one was a boy, and one about a girl who wanted the attention of her mother to the point where she wishes that she was a boy. That is not what She is about at all now. So, that's another thing about the process, because I had to make a decision of what was a story that I wanted to tell. And I have a program called the Girl Blue Project where I work with teen girls. And I ran it for 10 years. And I think society raises girls different than boys. And there's a lot of pain there. There's a lot of things that girls endure simply because they are born female. And it's still happening today. And so I just wanted to capture that energy of that from a young person's perspective. It's a coming of age play. And there's something that's so beautiful about people when we are 13, 14 years old and we're figuring out the world. There's this innocence there. And we have so much promise inside of us, because we haven't given up. The world hasn't tainted us yet, so to speak. And I don't want to say yet, but we're just still, to me, that's just right where the age is, where you're like, I want something so bad, and you can only see it happening. You don't see the roadblocks like, well, how are you going to get the money? How are you going to get this? You don't see it with that young mind. And I think that's where She came out of. And so I decided to write a play about a female protagonist who happens to be Black, who is very much an American girl with all the things that come with that. And because I don't see a lot of plays that have a young teenage 13-year-old Black female protagonist. And so I wanted to tell that story. The main story arc of She it's a coming of age play about a 13-year-old girl who living in a small town in the 1970s. She gets she's smart. She loves words. She dreams of being a poet like Maya Angelou or Langston Hughes. And she gets the opportunity to go to a prestigious boarding school, which is far away. And she really wants to go, but her circumstances prevent her seemingly from, otherwise being able to attend. So she comes against a lot of roadblocks. It's the summer. She's just gotten out of school, and she is placed in a situation where she understands the cost of a dream. And that one of the lines that really represents the play most is that dreams cost, and you don't always pay with money. And we see her journey and the people in her life that she was so adamantly trying to escape. She realizes those people in that small town are the very people that give her the wings to, achieve her goals. Because I'm of the ilk that, I was taught that no man is your enemy, every man is your teacher. And so the people that teacher that you hated or you think hated you, she put something inside of you that would push you, or that person who was nagging, or the mother, and you don't realize that sometimes till you get out of the situation. And that's one of the themes in this play as well. I think there's themes about there's a coming of age theme. There's themes about dreaming and faith. relationships, mother-daughter relationships, generational, um, I don't want to say curses, but generational curses, generational conflicts. There's religion in it. There's uh, romance, heartbreak. It's, I think the main thing is like the thing about this play is that all the things that make life life are in this play. The heartbreak, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the triumphs, the failures, and whether or not to get back up or not. So uh, you watch each character, the protagonist, and the characters that support her grow in a way. And all of them do. I can say that they literally all do. What I want the audience to leave with is that I want them to be, first of all, entertained, because people come to the theater, as a release. People want to be entertained. I want them to be moved and positively impacted. I want them to see themselves, and I want them to be happy. I want them to connect and be excited about the world of theater. I find theater magical, and I am hoping that when they sit down for the 2 hours that they sit down, I want them to feel that way as well. I want them to be transformed and inspired. I want them to be empowered, that maybe whatever is inside of them that they haven't been nurturing, that they'll leave there and be inspired to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go back to school. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, but I want all of those things. I really genuinely want them to leave inspired and empowered, and to see themselves and the beauty of themselves and the flaws, and be entertained at the same time in the comfort of the theater. And go tell people, there's something about when you go have an experience. I've had this happen. Like sometimes I'll go see something and I leave and I get in the car and it's just like, okay. But then there are those times where I leave and whoever I'm with, we can't stop talking about it while we're leaving the theater. And you talk about it in the car, and then you get online and you go, oh my God, I just saw blah, blah, blah. You want to see it? That's what I want the audience to have, that experience. So they can't stop talking about SHE and tell somebody else, you got to go see SHE, because SHE is not, even though the protagonist is a female, this is a play for everybody. It's for males too. A lot of men have said that they see themselves in this play as well, which is very surprising to me. So it's not a woman's play. I mean, the protagonist is a female, but there's a wonderful, her best friend is a 14-year-old boy, Davy Mansell. That character is the most amazing character. It's one of my favorite characters in the play, actually. And I think he's such a perfect representation, a perfect role model for young boys to see, which you rarely see that as well, I think. So you got these two 14-year-old, a boy and a girl, and I think it helps adults see what it really is, or for us to remember what it was like being that age, and how your body is changing, and all the things that you're going through, and all the things that you want within the barriers of age, because there's certain things you can't do. You can't go out and be like, I want to do this and I'm going to go off on my own. You're restricted by age. You're restricted by your parents sometimes, or, by the world that you live in. And maybe that will help parents to understand their teenagers a little bit more, or their teenagers to understand the parents more as well. And so there's a lot in this story, I believe. And I've seen people cry. I've seen people, have all kinds of emotions, and I'm often surprised. I was like, oh, depending on what is happening in somebody's life, their trigger is going to be different or they're going to connect to a character, to Mr. Lonnie, or to the Miss Jane, the neighbor, you know. So that's theater is therapy too, because I feel like I said, whatever's going on in your life, you're going to see the play completely different than what the person in front of you is seeing, depending on what's happening in your life, who you like, who you don't like. Like people might say, oh, I don't like this person. It's like, why don't you like that? You know, it's like, oh, because when I was little, this happened. It's like, oh, you know, so people are affected in different ways. And I just want people, I'm looking forward to having an experience. I'm looking forward to seeing this for the first time with new eyes, without expectation, and supporting the actors, because I'm an actor and I know how difficult it is to do what they do, and seeing what transpires, because everybody's doing their best to present this work. And I'm looking forward to having the experience as an audience member of something that I actually put together. The community must see SHE if you want to be transformed. Also, to continue the culture of theater, to support the culture of theater. You will not be disappointed. I'll just say that. And I'm not saying it because it's my play. It's because it's not left up to me. I wrote it. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, the actors may forget all my lines. I don't know. But I know that right now, with everything, with the strikes, with all of these things, everything is changing. That theater, if you want to be entertained, if you want theater to remain constant and get better, you must see this play, because we need the support, but it's a give and take. You know, you're getting something valuable that is tangible, that you can't, that's going to stay in your heart, that's going to stay in your soul. You know, you're not going to forget the experiences that you have when you go see theater. And unfortunately, we live in a capitalistic country, so we have to monetize everything. But it's your decision to decide what kind of value that you want in your life. And I think that the value, the theater experience to me is priceless. If it changes your life, which it can, if it impacts your life in the most positive way, what price do you put on that? And so, you know, that's a great price, to see something live, to see actual human beings, and to know that actual human beings built that set and painted that set and had a concept for the costumes and the lighting and the sound and everything. You know, think of those things when you're buying those tickets, and think of what you get to get because of that, and what you're going to leave with, and what your children can leave with, because this play, that's another thing that's special about SHE, which is why you should go see it, because it's for men, it's for women, it's for children of all ages, races, religions. It's about everyday life. It's not a political play. It's not a play about race and all the things that have divided us in this country. It's a play about dreams. It's a play about life and the magic of life and the journey of dreams. And that's the one thing that unites all of us, that connects all of us. So that is why I say SHE is a must see. My name is Marlow Wyatt, and I'm a playwright, and I wrote SHE. And you need to come see this American play, this coming of age play. It is magical. And if you are someone who has ever had a dream, this play is the journey of dreams. It's magical. It's American. It's poetic. It's impactful. You will be entertained. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It's worth the price of admission. But come see SHE. You won't regret it.